Translation skills for media entrant. Part 3. Types of translation. Now, in this particular part, we are going to discuss forms of translation also. So, let us look at the forms of translation. Literary translation, that is word to word translation. Transliteration. Now, this is very interesting. When you type a WhatsApp message in English script, but the language is Hindi. Say, for an example, I am coming late. Okay, this is pure English and English script. But when you type it with the help of I am coming late in Hindi, मैं देर से आऊंगा. So you use MAIN, मैं, DER, देर, या फिर मैं late आऊंगा. Okay. When you use a script of a different language and the language or the message is in other language, when you mix this two, it becomes transliteration. Using a different script for conveying message of your own mother tongue. Another example, when I write or I want to say, I am silly, but I am using Devanagari script. So, so I am, ये आएगा, हाँ, am, एप्पल वाला के ऊपर चंद्र बिंदी दोगे. This is how if you write I am silly, स को आप ल लिखोगे, वहां पे उसको बड़ी मात्रा दोगे, यहाँ छोटी मात्रा होगी. So when you use Devanagari script to convey English message, that is also transliteration. And whatever you type with the help of English keyboard, the words, alphabets are English, but whatever you are conveying is in own mother tongue, that is called transliteration. The next form is transcription. Transcription is something which is organizing a spoken text in a well written manner. So, while taking down the running notes, you practice transcription, or in the corporate offices, when boss dictates a letter or noting down a corporate meeting minutes and then transcripting it in a better corporate or official language, that is called transcription. And then comes interpretation, the more flexible and effective form of translation, where you interpret it, whatever is explained or said by the text, you interpret it. So the best example I can give is Jnaneshwari is interpretation of Bhagavad Gita. And you will find many interpretations of Bhagavad Gita written by many interpreters. So this is what the forms of translation. Now we are moving towards the types of translation. Here also literary translation is there. We have studied in last part literary approach. So literary translation is basically transforming a literature content. It may be a story or a novel or a poetry. Okay, it can be anything, any literary form, it is translated from source language to target language. That is called literary translation. Technical translation, you have come across to many of these user manuals, and in that user manual you always have this in different languages: English, Hindi, Marathi, Chinese, Korean, French, German, Italian. Okay, that is something is called technical translation. The information is same, but it is for the better understand, or for the better understanding of the audience or the users, it is translated in different languages. So all technological translations, technical terms comes under this technical translation, where majorly transliteration is used. Okay, then comes creative translation. Now creative translation is more similar with the interpretation thing, that any text or any word or any phrase or any bunch of sentence, okay, from one language is translated to other languages with some creativity. So the references, the is, say for an example, if any story of uh, any writer, uh, if a translator wants to translate it in uh, any European writer, and the story is translated in Indian context, in Indian languages, okay, then the creative translation, where it applies when the references, the social environment in the story, the political environment in the story has changed in reference to understanding of Indian audience. So there is a literary translation of that story where nothing has changed, only language is changed. Creative translation, everything is changed, not the meaning. So creative adaptation we have always discussed. Okay, a movie from a novel, Harry Potter is the best example. Okay, or you can say there are n number of novels, okay, on which movies were produced. So that is creative adaptation, and because the form is changed, novel is a form, film is different form, but here a novel is translated in a novel in another language, but the references, the political environment, the social environment, the characters environment is changed accordingly, in which language you want to translate. I hope you are getting it. Then next is legal translation. Translating laws in all Indian languages is the best example I can give. Or translating a verdict of uh, any judgment or any court. It is called legal translation. So for this, you need to have expertise in legal terminology, legal jargons. Okay, and then comes journalistic translation. I can say it is not only journalistic but translation in day-to-day media, where news stories, feature articles, then advertising copies, press releases. Okay, all these things have to translate it from one language to another language. That is called media translation. Or if we have to stick to journalistic translation, then news, feature articles, interviews, bites, letters to editor, Okay, all these things, when you translate from one language to another language, it is journalistic translation. So these are the five types of translation. Thank you.